Great card. Obviously, you got the last-minute replacement with Hanato filling in for our boy Armin Sarukian. If I had to give this card a theme, it would be going into deep waters. So there's levels to this game. You have your tip of the spear, one of one, generational fighters who can live between the 3 and championship caliber spot. You have those guys and everyone else, the contenders, and it even drops down from there. And for a lot of these guys, they were going into deep waters they've never been, and they learned the hard way they can't paddle in those waters. They're not going to survive. So for one of those guys, and again, it's all good. For one of those guys, it's Peyton Talbott. It's Peyton Talbott. A lot of hype on him. He's just starting to get on people's radars, but if you're a hardcore, you know this is the guy who started this fight. The UFC knows it. There's a reason he was the main event on the prelims. It was just too much too soon. Too much too soon. Oh, the kid can't grapple. Kid can't grapple, can't wrestle. They pushed him too fast. This matchup, you give him a straight up vet. Now, his last fight, he did beat a vet, but just stylistically, this was a complete nightmare for him. And here's the thing, Peyton's young. He still has a long ways to go. We're all expecting the Conor path, the John Jones path, where they should get skyrocketed to the front. And the UFC's kind of done better at not throwing these guys to the fucking wolves. But for Peyton, he's 26. His first loss, somebody's has got to go. His went. So it's all good. I think for him as a learning lesson, I always say this, for these young guys, when they lose a fight and they're undefeated and they have all this hype on them, I feel sorry for the guy he has to fight next. He's going to fuck that dude up because he has skill. He just has a lot of holes in his game. So he's still a young, exciting fighter. Don't jump off the bandwagon. What's interesting about Peyton is I've had this happen a number of times where big sponsors go, man, who's the next guy? They always ask me, who's the next guy we should work with? I'm like, well, you don't want to try to get to a Yuri or an Islam. They're already set. You want a guy, you want to grow with that guy, and you can see the potential where he's going to become a superstar. That's what you want to do. You don't want a guy who's already cemented and his legacy set. Like, you're going to pay up the fucking ass. You want a kid with a good following, a lot of potential. He's on the prelims, and grow with him and make the money with him. Don't go for a vet and whatever, pay him $1 million and then, he's with you for 2 or 3 fights, probably goes on a losing skid, or he just gets older and falls out. You're going to get longevity with these young guys. You just got to know what the hell you're doing in the fight game. And he asked me, it was number 1 guy. I said, Peyton Talbott. If you want a guy, and he didn't know who he was. And this is a number of sponsors. I'm not calling anybody out. This is a sponsor who you see on the mats who is a big-time player. So he goes, who do you think? I said, Peyton Talbott's your guy. I said, he's actually fighting this weekend. He goes, really? And I gave him a list of about 4 or 5 other young guys. I said, Peyton's your guy, though. He's never seen him fight, not familiar with him. I'm sending him his YouTube. I'm sending him his analytics, all this stuff, right? I'm like, this is your guy. He's super interesting, fun interview. He checks all boxes, has a long ways to go, but you can get him for cheap right now, and then he's only going to get bigger, but you're going along for the ride. He goes, man, I love that. I go, watch him this weekend. Yeah. I get a text after the second round. He's like, man, this is the guy? He goes, there's one issue. I go, what's that? He goes, he can't fight. I went, oh, no, it's just, and I said, this is actually a good thing for you because he's going to be that guy. He's going to be good. And now is a great time to jump on board. And it's going to mean a lot to him where I'm sure other sponsors jumping off, you should jump on now. You're going to get him at a great deal, lock him into a 2 or 3 year deal, whatever you want to do, make it beneficial for him, make it beneficial for you. But he's coming off a loss. This is great. And it's early in his career. It's all good. I told him, I said, Makhachev, I don't know if you know, and the guy, he's not a hardcore. I don't know if you know this, but Makhachev got his ass whooped early on. He got knocked out. Peyton just got dominating. You see there's a lot of holes in his game, but he's still a young kid. Islam got starched early on. All good. It's not boxing. One loss doesn't define. The fan base is still going to ride for Peyton. The fan base still rides for Islam. They're still going to ride for Umar. Like, it's all good. It's not boxing. So he just has a long ways to go. Because the difference between Islam's loss early in his career and Peyton's loss early in his career is Islam just made an error and got caught, and the fight's over. That's the level of the UFC. Peyton just got outclassed. He just got dominated for there's 15 minutes where there just wasn't much. He turned it on late, but still, his the takedowns were just atrocious. His takedown defense, submissions, takedown submission defense. I guess if you had to check something like, oh, that's not terrible, But outside that, it was a rough night in the office for him. But he's still that guy. Don't write him off yet. He's still that guy. RDR finally looks like the RDR. I've worked with One Championship for a number of years, so I followed RDR for a hot second. Middleweight champ, light heavyweight champ. He fought his first fight in the UFC against Mershart. He looked like trash, had cardio issues. The UFC jitters for a debut fighter, I don't care what organization you come from, are real. That is a thing. He kind of gassed out. Striking looked atrocious. Even his grappling didn't look great in that first fight. You're like, oh, man, this is the double champ? This ain't good from a championship. And then you see him against Kevin Hall, and he just absolutely annihilated him. Kevin's lost 4 out of his last 5. Okay. So his whole shtick of, like, I don't care about this fighter. I don't know who he is. I just want to fight as much as I can. That's all fun and games. Losing 4 out of your 4 out of last 5. The issue is he's a fun fighter, fan favorite, exciting to watch. But the UFC has to tread lightly with him because you need to give him kind of ideal matchups. Otherwise, he's going to lose. And it's not really what the UFC is in the business of. And he's not that big of a star where they're going to tread lightly and make sure he gets the right matchups where guys aren't going to take him down. And even guys that don't take him down, he's lost to. Wonderboy Thompson, JDM, Michael Venom Page, those guys even played the stand-up game when he lost. So he's been fighting monsters, though. I'll give him that. He's fought Hamzat, Wonderboy, Ponzinibbio, Michael Chiesa, JDM, Michael Venom Page, then RDR. It's tough. But that's where he's at. So at his experience and the level he's at, this kind of it. Takedown fence isn't going to come. It's similar to the way people go, I don't get it. How come Yuri can't just change his style and put his hands up? He's 30-something, man. What do you think? He's been training over 10,000 hours. He's put his time in. He's this warrior. He's the guy that has this wild, funky style that's hard to adapt, hard to download, a nightmare to deal with, unpredictable. And you think overnight he's just going to be this traditional fighter with his hands up? So when people are like, he said he's working on keeping his hands up, I go, well, okay. All it means is he's working on the exact same style, but his head work was a lot better. Was a lot better. That was a coin flip. That fight was a coin toss. RDR looked fantastic. He's ready for the big time, I think. Almeida, was Almeida doing his thing. Heavyweight division is so freaking light. It's so light. He's 1 win away from fighting a Cyril Gane-ish, coming off that loss to Curtis Blades. He won his last one. Now he's won this one. You're there. His issue is he's so one-dimensional. Even though he did get Spivak out of there with the striking, but it's going to be tough for him to get that similar striking advantage on a guy like Cyril Gane. It's going to be a tough night for him. Yuri Jamal Hill, here's my thing with this. I know you guys don't like Jamal and the hate on Jamal. One thing I say about Jamal is he's not tough. That motherfucker is tough, man. That was tough. He's a tough to put away. I knew he was in trouble when I saw the double knee brace. You haven't seen that since what? Tim Sylvia? That ain't good. You see a double knee brace? I was like, oh no. At his age, like this ain't ideal. If you had money on me and you see a double knee brace, you can't bet on double knee braces. That's Tim Sylvia back in the day. 2025 double knee brace? No. No, you can't have double knee brace. You can't do it. It's not what we do. Can't do it. I thought Yuri looked a lot better. God, how can anyone hate on Yuri? I don't know if they do. I don't see much of it, but I mean, God, how can you not love that guy? Cutting his hair for the cancer patient, winning. Here's the next fight for Yuri. Every other show is going to tell you Khalil Roundtree. I want to see Khalil Roundtree. I want Roundtree, and I love Roundtree. Love him. One of my favorite people on the planet. He's the salt of the earth. For Yuri, the next fight is Robert Whittaker. That's the fight. Rematch with Alex ain't happening. Alex, they announced it, and Ankalaev, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not going to wait for that. Robert Whittaker wants to come up to light heavyweight. He's already a perennial, bona fide Hall of Famer. He's done the work at 85 to fight the number one contender at light heavyweight. Stylistically, it's fantastic. Whittaker's a big boy. Yuri's not that big of a light heavyweight. He's actually thinner. I know he's tall and he looks huge on TV. I've seen him in person. He's not that big of a dude. Like, heavyweight's isn't even an option for him. Notice when he was on that losing streak, which was one, but when he's on that losing streak, he goes, I'm thinking about moving down to middleweight. Yep. That's how thin he is. Heavyweight's not even in the conversation for him. So, and middleweight's a terrible idea for him. But what's awesome is Robert Whittaker coming up for the first time at light heavyweight. You're welcome. There you go. That's your fight. And that's a big boy fight. That's a big boy fight. That's a fantastic fight. Robert Whittaker's first time at light heavyweight. Yuri, he went. And then, you got Alex, who's beat basically everybody at this point. You got Ankalaev. I think he beats Ankalaev all day. But he beats Ankalaev. And for Yuri, you wouldn't give him an immediate rematch, right? This is a third shot at him? No, that doesn't make sense. But if he wins one more, he beats a Robert Whittaker, who's a fan favorite, a big name. Now we can do Yuri Alex. Okay, take my money. And then if Robert Whittaker wins, bro, Robert Whittaker, Alex at 205, again, take my goddamn money. That's a great fight. You're going to see everybody else, Khalil Roundtree. That's the easy one. It's Robert Whittaker. That's the money fight. That's the fight. Especially if Whittaker's going to light heavyweight, that's the fucking fight. Amazing fight. Merab and Umar, your boy got this one right. I told you. I called it. I said, Umar's going to come out. He's probably going to win the first 2 rounds. And then after that, Merab's going to take over with his pace, and it's going to be tough for Umar to keep up, and he's going to beat him 3-2. I thought you could have gave Merab one of the first 2 rounds. I thought it was, 2-0 for Umar, but then after that, the next 3 was Merab. Merab's cardio is the best we've ever seen. Merab's cardio, outside Lance Armstrong, who was on all the sauce, is the best cardio you've ever seen in professional sports. I'll put him against anybody in any other professional sport. You won't see a better weapon than Merab's cardio. He shot 30 takedowns. Shoot 30 takedowns against your cat. Shoot 30 takedowns against your dog. Let me know how your fucking cardio is. Now do it at a world-class level where the guy's defending it and you're not getting it. He gets stronger as the rounds go on. Now, here's the thing about Umar. I tried educating Brian's dumbass on this because he hangs off Dennis Steggy nuts. Y'all got tricked. Y'all fell for the hype. I'm not saying Umar's not special. Umar will be your champ one day, just not right now. Umar beat Corey Sandhagen, and you guys went, he's ready. I'm going to ride. Go to Umar's record, Chin. Go to strength of schedule. I'm always going to ride with the guy. Always going to go to Merab's strength schedule. I'm always going to ride with the guy who has strength of schedule, who has wins. I'm always going to go with that guy over the young kid who you're being told is the next guy. Is he related to Khabib? Yes. Is he from the same camp? Yes. Does he train with Islam? Yes. Does he have great striking? Is he good at wrestling? All that? Yes. But he's never been in deep waters, ever. No one's going to bring you to deep waters, the deepest waters, more so than Merab. He dragged Umar's ass into deep waters, that 3rd, 4th, and especially the 5th round, and Umar found out, I don't have the swimming technique yet. I'm not ready for this yet. And he lost. The hate on Merab, the freaking disrespect, the odds makers as a dog. You put Merab as a fucking dog? How dare you? Go to Merab's strength schedule for me, Chin. Let me read off to you some of the guys that he has beat. We can start with John Dodson. Beat him, decision. Cody Stamann, tough, durable kid. Beat him, decision. Marlon Moraes, beat him, performance of the night. Jose Aldo, ever heard of him? He beat him. Yep, decision. He's going into deep waters with you guys. Decision. Peter Yan, ever heard of him? You ever seen that fight? You ever seen how many fucking takedowns he shot in that fight? He beat Jose Aldo. Beat Peter Yan. Is their takedown defense good? Oh, some would say some of the fucking best to ever do it. He mollywopped them. Henry Cejudo, good takedown defense, right? Gold medalist. He beat him, took him down pretty easily. Picked him up, looked at the crowd, smiled, and then dunked him on his ass. Sugar Sean O'Malley, pretty fucking good, right? Beat him pretty handedly. A young kid in Umar, and y'all want to act like he's the next coming of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior? Because why? He hangs out with Khabib? Get the fuck out of here. He got dealt with, son. Immediate rematch. Shut up. The fuck? He has work to do. Go to Umar's schedule for me. You want me to go over his strength of schedule? Their names y'all don't even know. Their names we can't pronounce. They're names that aren't even in the top fucking 20. He had one win in a decision win over Corey Sandhagen. And you thought he was ready for the dance? Merab been dancing at that ball. He been dancing multiple times. My boy been dancing. This dude comes in trying to break dance, never learned how to break dance. He got dragged to the deepest waters and went, oh shit. It doesn't matter that I hang out with Khabib. It doesn't matter that I walk in with Islam. It doesn't matter. That's not going to help me defend these motherfucking takedowns. 30 of them. 30 takedowns. You know how wild that is? 30? Y'all must have forgot. Oh, but beat Corey Sandhagen. I know. Corey's very good. Very fucking good. Very good. He's great. That's his only win. Y'all bought the hype? This was an easy pick. Y'all bought the hype. You ain't beating fucking Merab. You out of your goddamn mind? I know you don't like him for it. I don't give a fuck. He beat, and right now, until Umar gets more experience, he beats him 9 out of 10 times. People, Umar's hand was broke. Shut up. You know what Merab was dealing with? He was also compromised too. It took away his best tool and it still didn't matter. He had a staph infection where most people would, ready for this, cut their leg off. He taped it up and trained and still shot nonstop. He had a horrible staph infection on his shin. Horrible. Oh, and you know what you take for that? Antibiotics. You know what that does? Drains your cardio. Not Merab's. That was Merab's cardio at 50%, and y'all still lost to him. Yeah, but he broke his hand. I don't give a fuck. Give him that hand, and then give Merab 100% cardio. How do you think this goes? He was laughing at the guy while he was trying to take him down. What? Y'all bought the hype. I know he trains with Khabib. Shut up. Shut up. Strength of schedule. Y'all thought Florida Atlantic was going to beat Alabama. Come on now. Y'all thought the guy who hasn't fought anybody was going to walk in there and beat Merab? And all odds are against Merab. UFC doesn't want to be champ. The whole Khabib narrative, all that shit. Islam narrative, all that shit. Money from the Saudis. Everyone's rooting against Merab. And he embarrassed y'all. And y'all had him in your parlays. He was your third leg parlay. Y'all fucked up because you bought the hype. Go based off their history. This is a bona fide easy fucking pick. I told y'all. First 2 rounds, the young kid's going to do well. After that, we put on our big boy pants. We go to work. Merab fucking starched him. That's how this goes. That's my dog. He's a big Umar fan. Shut up. Y'all must have forgot. Immediate rematch. Stop with that bullshit. He has to go back to the drawing board. Jump in line. There's some other badasses you got to get through to get to my boy Merab. Probably has to win 2 more to get to Merab.
You know, he posted what he said when he posted something after the fight.
No.
The broken hand, he goes, I think I won that fight.
Oh,
even though most people are going to disagree.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you going to do? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure he did. Well, back in the line, feller. Cool story. Back in line. This is the club. Get in the back of the line. Merab security for you to get to the title shot. Back of the line. And to get there, you're going to have to walk through some fucking fire like the rest of us. You know the fire a guy like Merab walked through, a guy like Leon Edwards walked through, a guy's like fucking Bilal Muhammad walked through in order to get a fucking title shot? They're battle tested. And y'all taking the new kid, and when the bullets start flying, he shits his pants. And he had 1 arm. Fighting a guy who's compromised with his biggest tool. And he still dominated him. Later in the rounds. Again, must I remind you, 30 takedown attempts. That's wild. Again, Umar's going to be your champ. He's going to be able to get into that dance hall. He'll be there. Just not right now. He's not ready for the deep waters. He's not there. He's going to learn a ton from this, same as Peyton Talbott. Peyton Talbott has a whole nother issue of things he has to work on in order to get to even close to the top 10. It is a long ways to go. That's how this should go. It's all good. For Umar, a few tweaks here, a few work on this, you're with the right camp, he's right there. He's a year away. Peyton's 3 to 4 or 5 years away, 3 to 5. That's different. Me at rematch, I ain't trying to see that bullshit again. Guarantee you the UFC does Sugar Shot next. Guarantee you. Makes all the sense, the money, the star power. It's going to be that.